Namaste, my loves, and welcome back to the Visionary Lifestyle Podcast. It has been a long break. It's been about, I think, a year and a half since I've made an episode here, and the time is now. So, as you all know, we have been in COVID world for just about a year now. Today is the year anniversary of me arriving in Bali for what I thought would be a 3 or 4 month stay, and here I am a year later. Haven't had to leave the beautiful land of Bali, gratefully. And, you know, I've been working on another project for the last year, creating an income stream because this podcast was not supporting me financially, and I needed to get my financial house in order. So now that that project is launched, that's the Happy, Healthy, Wealthy Tribe, of course. I am back in a position to focus on this podcast and share my voice, which I think is one of the most powerful tools that each of us own, is to activate our voices and to speak out for what we believe is important and needs to be heard. So here we are, back in the saddle, so to speak. I am actually not on the island of Bali anymore. I'm now currently on the island of Nusa Lembongan as of the last 2 weeks, which is just a little tiny island off of Bali, about a 25-minute boat ride from Sanur at the bottom, south of Bali. And I'm just on this little tropical island as I record this, looking out at the sparkles on the sea directly in front of my house, feeling very grateful, healthy, blessed, nourished, and abundant and super, super happy and grateful to be back and bringing my voice back to this channel, to the Visionary Lifestyle Podcast. I did keep all my channels up. I have kept all my subscriptions for the servers and everything because I knew the day would come that I would come back. And if you are new to the show, welcome, welcome. Please do go back and listen at your leisure to the 100 or so episodes that I've already published. I launched this podcast just over 4 years ago when I started my travels around the world, and launched it from India at the time. And I was in Rishikesh, and have many, many episodes of interviewing incredible thought leaders, light workers, healers, and yogis from all over the world at different festivals and events, and wherever I would encounter really fascinating people that I thought had important messages for the world to hear. I have created all of that content for you. I'm very proud of the content that I've created, everything from Vandana Shiva at her biodynamic farm in India to yogic leaders like Ian Finn with Eco Karma, and his beloved partner, Insia, who we talked about Ayurveda, my Ayurvedic doctor, Dr. Moria. There are just so many episodes, like I said, yogis, healers, coaches, thought leaders, people who really have something worthwhile to say. So I am inspired now to get back into this because it's a time for important conversations and talking about the place of yoga in the world, and how yoga is maybe not the only, but certainly an available and very powerful path that we can all be on, that it's available to everyone. And I believe so strongly in my heart is a way, and certainly my way, of creating personal and planetary happiness. Yoga has the power to create personal and planetary happiness. So the bulk of this show, Visionary Lifestyle, we are dedicated here to raising consciousness on the planet. And the best way that I have found in my now just about 52 years on planet Earth is the path of yoga. And I'll just share with you briefly that over the last year, now that we're in COVID world and I've been here in Bali and not traveling and not moving around every month like I was for the 3 years prior to that, I got really grounded, and I got a beautiful villa in Uluwatu close to the beach, and I got grounded, and I put a lot of energy into my business, but I also put a lot of energy into my own self-development and my own training. And I did a couple of Tantric Hatha yoga trainings with the Practice Bali, which is a local studio here in Bali in Canggu. And I found my new teacher, who's Octavio Salvado, and that is meeting him and studying the courses with him have reignited my passion for yoga. Not that it ever went away, but it has being formally introduced to the Sri Vidya lineage, the Tantric Hatha yoga lineage, has been a game changer for me. As someone who's been on the yogic path for 22 years now. I was 30 years old when I found the path of yoga, when I was pregnant with my daughter Lula. I started with prenatal yoga, and I did my yoga teacher training in 2010. I've been a teacher ever since, and a practitioner. But learning, being introduced to and learning many of the ancient practices of Tantric Hatha Yoga have been a game changer for me. My practice has substantially deepened on a personal level, and I feel I have so much more to offer as a teacher, which is what I was hoping would happen. And I finally had the time and space to take another training and to really be focused on it and to really absorb it and embody it. And you know, I have a whole new sadhana myself personally, and I have so much to share as a teacher. And so I am kicking off the relaunch of the Visionary Lifestyle podcast with an interview with my teacher, Octavio, because I resonate so much with his teaching style and with his message and with the Sri Vidya lineage, of which he is a lineage holder and carrier. And it's important to understand about this lineage. It is, it's been passed down for about 10,000 years orally through an oral tradition. So these practices are not things that you're going to learn on Google or, you know, in a book. These are passed down by oral tradition. So I feel very, very blessed to have encountered these teachings and to finally be able to truly consider myself a tantrika, because now I understand that I'm actually a tantrika, that this lineage is 100% resonance with my belief system and my worldview. And we're going to jump into some of that in my interview with Octavio, which will be coming up in the next episode. I'll do a separate introduction for that. The purpose of this episode is really just to say hello again and touch base and say, you know, ask, you know, how's everybody doing out there? For me, I was in Rishikesh exactly a year ago, leading a Panchakarma retreat. Some of you may remember that. With my students, I was teaching yin yoga and taking everybody through the life-changing practice of Panchakarma, the Ayurvedic detox and restoration practice. And that's when COVID was declared a pandemic, when we were there together in this retreat that I was hosting. So, you know, some of my students barely made it home. They got stuck in places because, you know, India closed down while we were there. Several countries were closing their borders. And I was meant to go to Goa and celebrate my birthday in Goa after my retreat as a treat to myself. And I didn't make it because I made the choice to cancel that trip and to come here to Bali instead, which has turned out to be one of the most powerful and best choices of my life. I followed my intuition. I was crying when I left India. I wanted more time in Rishikesh. I wanted my time in Goa. My heart is very much in India. But it was the right choice for me to come and spend this year in Bali. And who knows what the future holds. I don't see myself getting on a plane anytime soon. I don't want to be out in COVID world. I don't want to do that to my nervous system. I find it very stressful to be in what I keep calling, yes, you might have noticed by now, hashtag COVID world. It's not a narrative that I want to participate in. I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want to have to get a test to be on a plane. As a healthy person, it is not conducive for me to be wearing a mask. And no, I'm not going to kill your grandmother. And no, I'm not Charles Manson, all of things which I've been accused of for not wearing a mask. So I'm sure we're going to get deeper into these subjects, but I felt it was time for me to come and put my voice back into the mix here and reactivate the Visionary Lifestyle podcast, because I think now more than ever, the world needs voices who are critical, who are questioning the mainstream narrative. I am here to be a voice for the alternative narrative, which is that we are ascending into 5D consciousness and that humanity is in a massive rebirth phase right now. We are in a rebirth phase. We are going through the birth canal. And as we all know, birth can be painful and messy, but the payoff, boy, is that worth it. We're going to have a beautiful world that works for everyone on the other side. We are ascending now from Kali Yuga into Dwapara Yuga. So it is the great flight up, as well. You'll hear me talk about a little bit in my interview with Octavio that's coming up on the next episode here. That I am committed to being a light worker on the planet. I'm committed to being a voice for what's possible. I'm committed to being a way shower and an example showing people what is possible, that we can live a life of total freedom and sovereignty, yes, even now. And if you are somebody who is looking for a way to create a livelihood, if you're one of the yoga teachers who's been listening to this podcast for some time, who is now finding yourself struggling to create a livelihood because online Zoom classes are quite saturated and the studios that you've been teaching at have all been closed. The other forces or powers that be that are saying that it's not okay for you to be doing your normal work right now, like happened to me. Normally I would be leading retreats, I would be teaching yoga, live yoga classes, and haven't been able to do any of that for the last year. So I have pivoted and I have shifted and I have found a way to create a livelihood, and it is something that I can share with you, that you can get on the Happy, Healthy, Wealthy Tribe train right along with me if you like, and we can co-create this better world for everyone together and be of service and have total sovereignty and freedom and have an abundance of income and work from anywhere. And like, this is all possible now. And I see this last year as a gift, as a catalyst for growth. I see it as it's the great pause, just like we just had the Nyepi holiday here in Bali, where all of Bali, the several islands we have here, all went dark and quiet, silent really for 24 hours. The first time I had a Nyepi holiday, I said, wow, the whole world needs this. And then COVID happened, right? And there were all the lockdowns and the whole world did go quiet and silent and not quite dark. But with all these lockdowns, the upside of it is that it gave everybody a chance to pause, right? And so many people have stopped and turned within and reconnected with what's truly important to them as individuals, and figured out that living in the matrix and working for other people and being a slave to the system and being told when you can work and where you can work and all of that, like, it's just not for me anymore, right? A lot of people are figuring that out and getting back to their passions, and a lot of people have, like I did online trainings and deepened their knowledge and their wisdom and reactivated passions that might have been dormant as we were in the rat race and the hamster wheel of life. So now we've all had a chance to pause and recalibrate, and like, what does your future look like? Like, what are you stepping into now? What has come out of you that was maybe latent potential? What potential are you activating now? If you know the Visionary Lifestyle and you know me, you know that my whole mission, my whole dharma here is to activate your highest potential. And the way that I do that is by tapping into my own potential, activating that, and then being a way shower for you and being a reflector, being a sacred mirror for you to help you see what's possible and to help you get in touch with what your gifts are, and then help you find ways to deliver those to the world. So hopefully I'm an inspiration to you. That is my mission. That is my goal, is to help you activate your highest potential. So I look forward to diving back into a fresh season here with you. I think I probably will publish a couple of the interviews that I did before the Visionary Lifestyle podcast took a pause. I have some really high level interviews with some very well-known plant-based chefs coming up that I recorded at the Vegan Festival in Bali about a year and a half ago, but it's timeless wisdom coming from these people. So we'll be reactivating those. I'll be publishing those. And as inspiration strikes, I will be doing other interviews when I meet people that are inspiring, that I think have a message that can benefit you. I will be sharing those and any other inspirations that come through me as well. And so I'm also looking to do more video podcasts as well. So if you're listening to this on audio right now, just know that this is also on YouTube. I will be getting this uploaded to YouTube as well, so you can also see me. And hopefully we can connect more. And of course, Visionary Lifestyle Podcast on Instagram is where I will be sharing all the new episodes, as well as our Facebook page and group. So that's Visionary Lifestyle and Podcast on Facebook, as well as Visionary Lifestyle and Podcast Community Group on Facebook. So looking forward to reconnecting with everybody. Please drop a comment wherever you're listening to this and tell me if you're new here or if you are an old listener that's tuning back in. It's great to reconnect. And please, by all means, do share this with people. If you are listening on Apple iTunes, please do go write me a review, 5 stars if you're feeling it. And write just a couple of words. It really makes a big difference. The more reviews we get, the more people will see it through Apple iTunes. And yeah, let's get the word out. Let's be the way showers. Let's be the light workers. Let's be the solution. Let's be the light in the darkness. I know the world feels very dark to a lot of people right now. You know, so many people are oppressed under tyranny and fear. And I see it really firsthand on this little tiny island in Indonesia. I tell you, people are here right in front of my house harvesting seaweed every day. I see a family of 6 going out and spending many hours in the ocean to harvest seaweed to sell it as an ingredient for cosmetic companies. And I've done the math. They're making about 30 cents to bring in a massive wagon full of seaweed. And it's taking a family of 6 many hours to do that. I mean, this is just nuts. I mean, all their livelihood is gone. There are barely any tourists on this island right now. I came here in part to help support the local community because they really need it. This is an island that has been almost exclusively supported by tourism for I don't know how many decades, but it's very heartbreaking to see what's going on here right now. As I'm speaking, there's a boat passing right in front of me that's just piled high with seaweed. Like this is their livelihood now. And sure, great for them to reactivate old practices and live off the land and the sea, right? But it's not enough. It's not sustainable. They need the tourists to come back. We need Bali to get the doors open, and we need the tourists to come back so these people can reopen their hotels and their restaurants and their snorkeling and diving adventures and the surfing lessons and all the things that are on offer here. And I want to lead retreats here as well, but we need to get the doors open for tourists for that to happen. So when that time comes, you can be sure that I'll be leading a retreat here, and you're all invited, of course. So that's it for now. I'm going to keep it short as much as I can, although it's really good to be speaking to you again and to be reconnecting. And just know that I'm sending you tons of love from this little tropical island in the middle of the Bali Sea. And I look forward to hearing from you and hearing your comments. And as always, you're always welcome to email me as well and to connect at guide@visionary-lifestyle.com. That's my email right there. All right, much love. And I will see you again super soon. All my love.